Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a demo for the Kehinde Wiley portrait. Okay, Kehinde Wiley is a contemporary artist who takes more traditional painting styles and matches them with um, traditional and contemporary painting, as well as people and their dress and how they look. So what we're going to do today in this demonstration is, or what you're going to do for your class, is you're going to take a portrait. I already have taken mine. You're going to make sure the portrait of the person is in focus, they're exposed correctly. Clean up all skin. Please clean up their skin. Make sure that they're in focus. Make sure that your background is very clear because you're going to be cutting them out. Locate a texture online. I'm going to do that in the demo with you, but I already have my portrait ready. We're going to combine the two images. We're going to mask them. We're going to add a solid color adjustment layer. And to finalize it, we're going to add some grain on top. So here's my portrait of a young man named Eli. And so now I need to go over and look and see and unsplash what kind of texture file I can get for this. So I'm going to pop over to my browser window. And I'm going to open up unsplash.com. I think I already have it open right here. Actually, I do. Okay, so I typed in leaf pattern. You could type other things in. You could type in texture, graphic pattern, stuff like that, wallpaper, some other things similar to those kind of phrases. This is the one I found. I like this. Once you're here, do not right-click and hit Save Image because it will save this size. It's too small. Go up here to the download arrow. Click Original Size. Always want the original size. It'll begin to download for you, and it's right over here in my downloads, so I gotta go grab it. So I'm gonna go to File, Open. Going to figure out where the heck it's saved. Here it is. Okay, and then this is the texture file. Now here's a trick, okay? Just a comment. If you, friends, go to Google and you want to look for Google images because the Unsplash, you're like, I can't find the thing I want. Go to Google, go to Advanced Image Search, and it will bring up Google Advanced Image Search, which I have bookmarked. You should too, actually. So click there, and if you type in, I don't know, floral pattern, I don't even know, and then go down to image size. This is important. This is the part you want to watch out for. Go to larger than 2 MP. That's 2 megapixels. And it'll give you a nice, large, robust, high-resolution image. Search. And I don't even know what we're going to get. Look at all this fun stuff. We have a lot of really beautiful things here that we could use. And you could go through. Some will cost you money. If they say licensable, you're going to have to pay. I don't recommend it. Okay? But if I go down here, I might find something that I like. If you click on it one time, it brings up over here. Here's your resolution. 2000 by 1100. It's not bad. That'll work. If you like this, let's see, 1600 squared. But you have to pay for it, so forget it. Okay? And I'm not saying don't pay for art. I'm saying for this, you don't really need to do that. Here's another one. That's 14 by 1800. That's pretty good. You're going to have some other ones here. But my point is finding a texture pattern that will work for you. So I'm going to pop back over here. I have Eli's picture open. And I have my pattern. So I'm going to click on my pattern. Command A, Command C for copy. Go over to Eli. Command V for paste. Now, it might be a little bit smaller or bigger. If you get this here and it's really tiny like this or something, like very, very small, you got the wrong resolution. You need to go do it again. That will not work because when you start stretching, it'll be too small. I know for a fact this is big enough because I used it for a demo in the classroom as well. So I'm going to make it bigger, I hit Command T. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly. Command T to transform the tool. Drag the corners like this. Okay. So just make it a little bit bigger. And then hit Enter or Return. So now the picture is above Eli. Now, we want some in front and some behind, so I'm going to duplicate this layer. Right click, go to Duplicate Layer. or Command J. And we're going to drag one behind him. If there's a little lock here, click it off. So we're going to put one texture behind him, one texture in front of him. And so our next step is to cut him out. How do you cut out a person from the background? The easiest way, and this is new in Photoshop 2023, is you go over here to the Object Selection tool. When you choose that Object Selection tool, and you're in that tool and you mouse over an object or a subject on a photo, it will get a pink edge like this. Okay, something pink, and then you can click right there. And when I click, depending on how fast your computer goes, depends on how quickly it will put the little selection around him. Then the next, if you zoom in, press the Z key and you zoom in, you can see there's some background coming through. There's some hair coming through, things like that. So we're going to hit, and with the selection, we're going to click Select and Mask. Okay, so here's the picture of the boy. And I'm going to go over here to the Refine Hair brush. It's right here. There's several brushes here. This is the one. And I'm just going to make the brush just about the size of the edge of the hair. And I'm going to kind of draw around the hair and say, hey, there's more hair here. Don't make it too big or it will go out and it will get funky. Trust me. So that's kind of good. We have some red coming through. Up here, what's going on there? Maybe we can work on that a little bit. Up here, that edge a little bit. Okay. This is just a demo, so I'm not doing it perfectly. You can scroll around the page, make sure everything else is cut out. This is cut out. Just kind of make them look good. You can smooth your edge a little bit if you want. If you smooth it too much, it's gonna be horrible. But you could smooth it maybe about 5. You can also add or take away contrast. I'm gonna leave that low. Shift edge. You can shift the edge in or shift the edge out. It's kind of hard to see here. But right there, you shifted the edge out. I shift the way in. I don't want it in. It's ugly. So right about there, I think is good, about 10%. Every picture will be different. The key is when you take your picture, your background has to be very simple. It makes this easier. When you're done with that, I'm going to hit decontaminate colors. And I'll put to new layer and layer mask. That'll work. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. So now I have my original picture of Eli right here, and then I have a masked picture. I'm going to take the original picture, make sure it's turned off, and just put it down below in case there's any issues. So now we have a picture of Eli, and there are all of this foliage behind him. Now, again, this is a quick demo. It's not perfect. You can see some of the red from the background kind of coming through there, and also over here his hair. For the sake of a quick video, I'm not going to clean it all up. There's also some red reflection from the background on him. I'm not going to worry about that right now for this demo. So now we have our top layer, and our top layer is leaves. Now, if you want to turn the opacity down on that so you can see through it and take a look, right? So let's just go 40%. I see some leaves that are covering him well. If you look up here into his face, this clump of leaves is cool. This one's not because it's covering his eye. I want at least one eye. There's nothing really interesting here for me. There's a little bit of interest down along here. There's this leaf that kind of goes over his shirt. Another one here, here, here. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to put a mask on the top layer. Okay? Then we're going to go in here. And you could do this however you want. So if you need to turn your opacity up or down or whatever, go ahead. I'm going to take my lasso tool. Do your best. Do your best with it. And I'm going to go over all of these leaves where I kind of want them to be on top of his shirt, like that. Now maybe I want to add this one. To add, after I have my selection, I hold down the Shift key and I drag with the lasso tool. Okay, maybe I like that. Maybe I want to do more. You know what? Let's just do that for now. Okay. And then I'm on a white mask. I'm going to fill with black. So many different ways to do this. I'm just going to do it down and dirty and just paint with black brush. Now you're like, well, teacher, you're... Now the shirt's coming through all the way. Well, that's because we need to invert the mask. Okay? Just trust me. Stick with me for a sec. We'll invert the mask in a few minutes. I want to grab this one. I like this. This little bud comes over here. Maybe I'll grab his little buddy here. And then this one too. Maybe I just want it to be all the way off. Okay. Again, I'm going to paint. Now remember, we're going to invert this mask later, so just bear with me. I do want some off the face. I think this is very interesting to have kind of a giant like leaf area. I'm doing this quickly for the demo, but you would spend more time to make sure that your edges and everything look good. So I really don't need to worry about after we exit his skin, because that's going to be duplicated in the background. Now, this line's not perfect because I'm doing it quickly, but if I want to add to it, I hold the shift key. I can also zoom in and out, of course, as you are already aware, I hope. And then I'm going to paint that one. So you see, it doesn't really matter right here because it's already coming through. And then if I want more at the bottom, let's say I want a big clump. Let's just go like this. I'm going to do a big clump down towards the bottom here. Let's just kind of go over here. Up here, grab this one. It kind of gets here, weird looking there. It's kind of hard to see. And we're going to assume that it just kind of ends there. And then I'm going to bring it back and attach it to the buddy. Here, I need to get that part in. And then we're going to paint. I'm just zooming out a little bit so I can see it. All this. There are other ways to do this. You can go to Edit Fill and then fill with the black. Okay, so I've done some. Now, deselect them all. I'm still in that mask right there, guys. I'm going to hit Command I. But you're like, Miss Jams, look, you can see through them all. Well, that's because I have that layer turned down. Turn it up. Boom. Isn't that cool? Okay, so here I am right now. I feel like I need a little bit more down the bottom, don't I? Okay, let's just flip the mask over so I can see it. Down here, I almost want to kind of go in and fill in this one and this one. And then I think I just want that whole corner filled in. Okay. You'll see what I mean in a sec. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And I want the bottom too here. So this whole bottom edge, I just missed it right there. All right. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty darn good. Sorry about that. 2 more steps. Next step. Take an adjustment layer. Go to a little circle right here. These are your adjustment layers. They're also up here. Go to solid color. Pick a color that's complementary to your picture. I don't know. Let's use a mauve. Like a mauve or a periwinkle something. Something like that's good. You can use whatever color you want here. That works. Don't use black or white. Okay. So, now, I'm going to change blend mode. Before I do that, I'm going to drop this to 50%. And you're like, oh, okay, it's looking interesting. But let's try some blend modes. There's darken. Because right now, normal, without the blend mode over the top, without that adjustment layer color, the coloring in his skin and his shirt and the lighting don't match the plants. And we want to kind of bring something together where it kind of just like almost merges them in a way. I kind of like hard light. That's cool. I was down here earlier looking at a few. Saturation looks really weird. Hue, that one's real subtle. Going up to, let's pick one. What sounds good here? Hard light. And this is your personal preference at this point, guys. Okay. So, hard light, and then I can change my opacity however I want. That's full opacity. I don't prefer it. I just want something, a little subtle color that washes over the entire picture. So I'm going to go with 40%. Here's the next step. Make a new layer. Go up to image. Go to apply image. What this is going to do is it's going to take everything below. Just hit OK here. Everything below, and it's going to put it all on a layer by itself. Right there. I could turn all these off. Everything's right there. Now, on that layer, go to Filter. Go to Camera Raw Filter. This opens up the same Camera Raw editor that was in Bridge. You'll see it. It's coming up on the screen right now. This is pretty much the same for Photoshop 23 and 24. I'm in 24 right now. My Photoshop's up to date. But over here are all of those sliders that we talked about before in various lessons. And down here under, or I think it's under color, nope, effect, is grain. Now let's zoom in a little bit right here. I want to show you his face and this leaf. This leaf here, the resolution, the grain, the texture, it's quite a bit more than his skin. His skin's very clear. It's very nicely edited, etc. These two don't really match. I mean, we're starting to match a little bit more with the purples, but we're going to add a little bit of grain. Now watch the picture. I'm going up, and I'm going all the way up. 100% grain. And there are micro adjustments in here that I'm not going to worry about right now. 100% grain. So the grain goes across the whole picture. Let me zoom all the way out and back in. Okay, but it's too much grain. It's just too much grain. So I'm going to drop that back to about 50, maybe 40. I'm not afraid of a little grain, and some people are. So about 40%. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to take me back out here to Photoshop. And guess what I'm doing now, guys? I'm done. I'm going to export this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to export. If you're working this over a couple days, make sure you save your Photoshop file so you have your layers. But I'm going to go ahead and go to Command Shift Option S. I'm going to save for a web. I'm going to make sure it says JPEG Hi. I'm going to save this file. Okay? I'm going to save this file. So that's the tutorial. I hope it helps. And if anyone else outside of my students is watching this, welcome. Good luck. I hope it works for you. Drop me a message in the comments if you have any questions about the tutorial. Thanks very much.